I know. Spooky season is technically over, but it never ends here. I'm always going to be here to talk about horror, thriller, and disturbing movies. And this month, November, I know October is over, rip, but it is no different. I'm going to tell you about 15 films you can watch this month, and not just that, but where to watch them. Let's start at the top of the month because there is a new twisted crime horror thriller that tells the story of a serial killer granny called Dorothy. It's based on the true story of Dorothy Puente, who ran a boarding house in Sacramento, California during the 1980s. And here she would prey on the vulnerable. The trailer does look a little bit clunky, but if you're interested in the real story, it may be worth checking out. But something a little bit more captivating, I think, is All Her Fault. This is premiering on Peacock this month, and if you're in Australia, it will be on Binge. The miniseries is only 8 episodes long, but it has a killer cast, including Sarah Snook, Dakota Fanning, and Sophia Lillis. And let me tell you, this dark drama thriller is every parent's worst nightmare, or so I'm told. It centers around a mother who arrives to pick up her young son from a play date, but the woman at the door answers and has no idea who this boy is. Now a statewide search begins and fingers are pointed as they try and figure out what happened to this little boy. This looks like a twisted mystery, and I'm keen to check out how it all unravels. I love that Dakota Fanning has been popping up all over horrors and thrillers recently. And of course, Sarah Snook, she's an Australian, so I love her. And actually this series was partially filmed in Melbourne, Australia. But I am dying to know what the title means, and don't spoil it for me if you have read the book that it's based on. All Her Fault. Whose fault? There's only one way to find out. Well, if you haven't read the book already. Check this one out from the 6th. And we also have another crime thriller series based on a book. This one coming from South Korea. As You Stood By will be streaming on Netflix this month. This one is based on the novel Naomi to Kanako. Again, it's another miniseries, so it's only 8 episodes long. So for me, that's very bingeable. But this one is a little bit different because the tagline is very dramatic. 2 desperate souls, 1 desperate choice. In As You Stood By, we follow 2 women who are driven to the edge, facing an inescapable reality that forces them to consider murder as their only way out. It sounds very juicy. If you're into crime thriller content, check this one out from the 7th. And honestly, the 7th is the date. Everything comes out on the 7th this month, including Die My Love. This will be a cinema entry, and I am so excited for this one. I actually have my tickets already. This psychological thriller follows Grace, a young mother and writer who is confined to an old house in rural Montana. And here she begins to unravel. And as her behavior grows more agitated and unpredictable, her companion Jackson grows anxious, feeling powerless to help. I like that it's a little bit vague, but what really has me is the cast, because we have Jennifer Lawrence, we have Robert Pattinson. I am a fan. I love him. But also Sissy Spacek and Lakeith Stanfield. So this looks like a little bit of an edgy one, psychological thriller, unraveling. It did get a 9-minute standing ovation when it premiered, so let's see if it lives up to these expectations. Then of course we have Frankenstein. I have already seen this film and I will drop a review very soon. This one was playing in limited cinemas throughout the end of October, but if you missed it, it is heading to Netflix. This is where it was planned to go, but because it is directed by Del Toro, obviously super theatrical, they also gave it a cinema run. This film stars Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, and Oscar Isaac, and it is the dark retelling of the life of Victor Frankenstein as we watch his ego tip over while creating a monstrous life form that he soon regrets. If you did miss it on the big screen, and it is a longer feature, maybe you can carve some time out to watch it on Netflix from the 7th. Again, I'll have a review very soon because I do have very big opinions on this one. But of course, I want you guys to make up your own mind as well. But the next TV series is surrounded in mystery, and I love what they're doing with this marketing. This is Pluribus, and they're not giving much away with these short little clips. But mark my words, prediction, this is gonna be wild. This is gonna be the TV show that people are talking about for the rest of the year. The dark drama thriller series is 10 episodes long, and all we know is it follows the most miserable person on earth who must save the world from happiness. There is a little bit more information about this on the official website for Apple TV, but I do want to keep you guys in the dark because I think that they did this intentionally with the marketing, and who am I to spoil a spoiler. Not me, not I. But the poster alone is very intriguing. I know it's going to be this sci-fi dystopian trip that is going to be electrifying. From the clips I've seen, I know it's going to be bizarre. So mark this one down. Let's find out at the same time. I'm very excited. And this is the thing. They're going to have 2 episodes coming out on the 7th, and then it's going to be a week-to-week drop of the episodes, which is not rare, but it's not the norm for Apple TV Plus. I think they're just calling it Apple TV now. So it all has me very intrigued, so keep an eye out for this one. At least you know kind of what it's about. Okay, this next one, I'm gonna be completely honest, I probably won't check it out, but I know a lot of you are big fans of this franchise. I'm talking about Predator, Badlands. This one, it does look good. This is the newest entry for the sci-fi franchise, and it promises to expand into a bold new direction. And this one will be on the big screen. It's directed by the same person who did Prey, which was very well received, and it stars Elle Fanning. This will be a high-stakes story of survival with unlikely alliances. Set in the future on a remote planet, an exiled young predator crosses paths with a determined human survivor as they embark on a quest to face the ultimate enemy. Check this one out from the 7th and let me know if I should watch it. I just want to be honest, you know? If you're lucky enough to get the Beldham in your cinema, it may be worth your time. This one stars Katie Parker, who has an extensive resume, but is known in the horror sphere for her work with Mike Flanagan. The movie follows a struggling new mother who must face a presence lurking in her family home, threatening her sanity, her safety, and her infant child. I know what you're thinking. Very run-of-the-mill, a lot of tropes, mother protects baby, but I have read a couple of reviews that have said it has a point of difference, and that makes me very intrigued. And good news, although this one is set for a limited cinema release, it is already out across Latin America and the UK on VOD. So if you can't make it to the cinemas, you might be able to find it over there. I really do hope this has an original take, but we'll have to wait and see. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. But next, I am loving the visuals in this new horror sci-fi Decibel. To add to that, this film is set around its soundtrack, so you can add it to the sub-genre of horror that is music horror. But wait, there's more. Listen to this. The film is about a struggling singer who gets the opportunity of a lifetime to work with a tech-obsessed music producer. But not everything is as it seems, as her life and art are put in peril as she is forced to create the perfect AI music algorithm. A horror, sci-fi, based around music and also about the dangers of AI. Honestly, the trailer for this one looks amazing. You can find it on rental platforms from the 7th, including Apple TV and Fandango, but it will also hit Prime Video on December the 1st, if that's more your speed. Next, still on the 7th of November, we're still on the 7th. Dark yet witty, stylized crime thriller Stone Cold Fox is set for a November release. And this one stars Kiernan Shipka, Kristen Ritter, and Kiefer Sutherland. The film takes place in 1986 when a woman breaks out of an abusive commune in search of her family. But when the Queen Pin kidnaps her little sister, she has no choice but to infiltrate the very place she just escaped. This one is set for a limited cinema release on the same day as it hits VOD. It looks like a fun thriller, but don't be fooled. I think it's going to be still a little bit dark. But if you're looking for something a little bit more speedy, I'm sorry that was awful pun, but it is going to be dark and dystopian, The Running Man. This is based on Stephen King's 1982 dystopian novel of the same name. You may remember the Arnie film from 1987, which is also an adaptation of the novel, and this was set in the distant future, very distant, 2017. But this 2025 version is a readaptation of that novel with a stacked cast, including Glenn Powell, Coleman Domingo, Amelia Jones, Michael Cera, Josh Brolin, Katie O'Brien, and William H. Macy. This film, ironically, is the next adaptation out of Stephen King after The Long Walk. We just had that in theaters. The Long Walk, The Running Man, and their plots are kind of the same but completely different. I wouldn't say they are in the same universe, but they follow a lot of the same battle royale style. So The Running Man is about a group of contestants known as the Runners who must work against a team of murderous hunters whose job is to track them down and end their lives. And any runner who can stay alive for 30 days wins a grand prize of $1 billion. Billion? Really? Squid Games eat your heart out because these contestants are on a highly rated TV show. That's what the film is about. It's marketed as a conspiracy thriller and a dark comedy, but expect a lot of commentary on wealth, greed, and the state of the world in this one. I hope it will go all the way. I'll be seeing this one in the cinema for sure. I can't wait. This one is out between the 12th and the 14th. They keep moving it backwards and forwards just because of clashes with so much else coming out at the same time, but expect it in the cinema around those dates. Check your local times. The next film is the one, though. I am so excited and a little bit nervous about The Keeper. Oz Perkins never sleeps, which is great for fans like us. He already put out The Monkey this year, but The Keeper is meant to be completely different. And I am going to do you a solid. I don't want to watch the trailer. I don't want to go in with that. I have avoided it. And I think that Oz Perkins does really well with the marketing, trying to shield us. So I think there's a reason for that. So I am just going to do the poster and I'm going to keep both of us in the dark with this one. But what I can tell you is it's a surrealist horror about two people who go to a secluded getaway for the weekend, but they're not alone. I do know people who have gone to a press event in America and seen the start of this film. And from what I heard, they said it was their favorite work of his yet. I think more akin to Longlegs and more of the psychological element. But let's see if he can stick the landing, because a lot of these press runs now have people, influencers, media, reviewers go and watch the first 20 or 40 minutes of a film and not see anything else. It happened with him. So I'm very curious to see what happens with this one. And I can't wait to go in blind and figure it out alongside of you guys on the 14th. And I do have to issue an apology because the Creep Tapes season 2 was set to premiere on Shudder at the end of October and it got moved, but it will be out finally on the 14th of November. They will be releasing each episode week to week on Shudder and AMC Plus, and this series will continue to follow the bizarre story of the man behind Peach Fuzz as he tricks victims into filming him before turning on them. The Things You Kill is getting a lot of buzz, and if it isn't on your radar yet, let me fix that. This Turkish mystery thriller had its premiere at Sundance at the start of the year. It's a co-production between Canada, Turkey, Poland, and France, and it has already been selected for Canada's 2025 Oscar submission. Boasting an impressive 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, the film follows a man who was haunted by the suspicious death of his mother, and now as things spiral fast, he begins a plot for revenge. But not everything is as it seems. People have called this a captivating thriller that has insane turns, and I saw one review drop the name David Lynch, which is not what I expected from any of this imagery. I'm putting it in here because if you are lucky enough to be one of the selected few, God's favorite, who gets this in the cinema this month, it has a limited release. I won't be able to see it. It's not coming out here, but I wanted you guys to know. Again, check your local theaters for any times. It will be out from the 14th. Limited cinemas. But I'm not going to leave you without something we can all watch, because Bunny is an offbeat film that I know any disturbing movie lover or really fan of anxious thrillers, this should be on your to watch list. This is meant to be a bizarre roller coaster in the form of a comedy drama thriller. The movie takes place over one wild day and night in the East Village as a streetwise hustler known as Bunny and his friend scheme on a crew of eccentric neighbors to cover up a dead body. The film promises that chaos will reign as the clock ticks and the heat rises. I hope that this is an anxiety-filled ride for both of us. Those are some of my favorites. I love stressing you guys out. That's all for this month. Those are my picks. Not much out towards the end of the month, more the start, really around the 7th. So that gives you plenty of time to hopefully catch up. Let me know what you are going to watch this November. Let me know if I missed anything that interests you down in the comments. I love your recommendations. And also, I do want to say, I did dress up for Halloween. I can't post it here. If I can, I'll put it in black and white. They're very weird about using special effects makeup and blood, and this one is quite bloody. So if you do want to check it out, the full post, I'm going to try and put it on my Instagram and see if that sticks. But I hope you all had a wonderful and safe Halloween, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Don't forget, I did a video on Begonia if you'd like to check it out. Completely spoiler free, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.